I'm just gonna jump in and because like seriously, you one of the person that who inspired me so much. I don't know how you do it. Always have to ask you, how do you do it? It's you're not only a female founder of now two businesses, you're also a mom. You just doing everything. Like, how do you do it?
I just really want it. I really want to be successful. Like it's always been my dream. Being a mom was never a dream or a goal. It's something that just happened. And so once I became a mom, I sort of felt lost
Hmm.
and I needed to find myself. And I'm still going through that. What do I want to look like? How does motherhood, who am I in motherhood? Because I've changed so much on how I look and my body, and then going through baby blues with the first pregnancy. And then I sort of went back to what my goal was when I moved to New York. And my goal when I moved was to be successful. Then the world sort of just inspired me to go for it because I actually started Rawly Bold in 2013, but nothing really happened until 2017. So much happened in my life, but nothing happened in business.
You started in
So that,
2013. I did not know that.
yeah. But nothing happened. I also had a partner, but we were just on different wavelengths. I also don't like to have to get permission to do something. I
Mm.
hate having people tell me what to do. And that's one of the things that I wanted to steer away from in business. I wanted to be able to call my own shots and create things I'm passionate about. Although we're very on the same page as far as our passions and our goals, but just I don't like to have to depend on others. So if I want something, I can go and get it on my own versus having to wait for somebody else. But how I do it all is just, I just really want it. It's that bad. I need it. I can't breathe without it. So I'll create the time. It's chaos, and I'm trying to find a new schedule or how to do things because the kids are home. I need to entertain them. But I also have clients now, and I'm still growing Rawly Bold. I was never a morning person. Now I wake up really early and I stay up later than usual because things just need to get done. And I'm okay with that. And because I love it so much, it feels like a hobby. I'm not like miserable as I'm growing.
I love that. And I was going through your digital marketer website, and I love, love, love one thing that you said. And I bet on myself and bought a one-way ticket to NYC. How awesome! Like, I bet on myself. Not a lot of people can like actually say that out loud. And
Hmm.
I just loved it. And clearly you're clearly that person. You bet on yourself and you're doing it. You are being the person. You said you're redefining yourself, but like, how do you describe yourself right at this moment? Like, it could be so many different things.
I am a very multi passionate and never satisfied. I always want more. I'm actually okay with making mistakes, and that's actually how I learn because I'm a very visual person. Unfortunately, one of my flaws is I need to see it on my own and I need to like experience it for me to realize that it's not good because what may work for others may not work for me and vice versa. So
Mm.
if someone were to say, "Well, it didn't work for me," but I'm different. What if it does work for me? So I'm very multi-passionate, as you can see, with Rawly Bold, just to inspire, motivate, and empower others. And I think this digital marketing also goes hand in hand because my goal is to help women in business grow and scale. I've actually tapped into my creativity prior to Rawly Bold even. I'm not a very creative person, but I've had to be, and I've taught myself to do that. My sister is very creative, and she's helps me so much in both my websites and in Rawly Bold, and she designs everything. So she's the creative brain that I lean on. But I'm such a like goal getter and go getter that I've had to teach myself and learn new things. I feel like that's part of business. You have to learn how to do multiple things at the same time to grow and save money.
Hmm. At least in the beginning, anyways. Like, we're all gonna
Totally.
learn. I love what you said. You have to teach yourself to really tap into creativity,
Yeah, I'm not very creative.
which I have a
Actually,
hard time believing.
I know, but I've just really taught myself how to do that. I would go look at other brands and what are they doing? How can I make that my own? How could that make that look like Rawly Bold? Because that's one thing that is very important to me, to stay true to who I am and the brand. I don't want to be like anybody else. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I'll let everybody do this, but I'm going to do this. So I always think about that when doing anything, although there is a plethora of women empowerment t-shirts that I didn't know of until I was part of the community because I don't see anybody wearing them. And
Mm.
so that's what inspired me to do Raleigh Bold because I don't see people wearing these t-shirts. So once I learned I was a needle in a haystack, I'm like, okay, how can I make this different? The same but different. How can I stand out? I think I'm going in that direction.
You definitely are. And one thing that I want to point out, it's because I have been privileged of being a part of your Rolly Bold crew. It's not just a campaign. Okay, let's put the POC campaign photo and say we are diverse, but you really are creating diverse audience. You really are a part of the community and you're sourcing that. I think that's a huge distinction. What Rolly Bold make it so special.
Yeah, and it's not just about Raleigh Bold. I feel like it's also the community. It's a lifestyle. You just have to, and we live in a diverse world. And I really want to show that and support everybody else who's part of it because it's really not just for me.
Yeah, it's just for everyone. Especially you're from LA, which
Hmm.
is more diverse. I think with what's going on in this world right now, like a lot of people are focusing on diversity and minority and
Totally.
like a female owned businesses and a lot of people are supporting that. Where do you see your place, in particular Latinx community and Latinx female founders community are headed?
I still feel like we should amplify Black voices and businesses because you didn't see them often prior to this month. And I'm okay with being in the background right now. I've sort of taken a little step back on Rolly Bold, still posting and supporting Black voices because I feel like that's important. And it's important for me to be part of the change that I want to see. So I'm not really worried about where I stand at the moment because I feel like there's a bigger need for change. And I feel like my time will come. The change is more important to me than me receiving my goal because my goal at the moment is change and peace and equality. Where do I stand in the Latinx community? It's interesting because a lot of the Latinx brands are, I don't really know how to describe it. I just relate more to women in general versus me being Latina. You're not Latina, but we have similarities and we have so much in common. And I feel like as women in general, I feel more comfortable supporting everybody because everybody's diverse. We all experience some sort of discrimination like the Black community is experiencing now. Maybe not to that level or for that amount of time, but I've been discriminated against a lot of people and we're all different. And which is the reason why I don't have Latina owned on Raleigh Bold because I'm a woman and I just feel like I have more in common with everybody versus just one group of women. It was
Mm.
important for me to showcase all women and to be for everybody versus just that. But I am Latina. My dad's Puerto Rican. My mom's from El Salvador, born and raised in LA. And there are hardly any Puerto Ricans on the West Coast. And I grew up in a very Mexican community. You're either Mexican or Asian. I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley. So if you're familiar with
You are?
yeah, I was not far from Valley at all. So everyone's like, "You're not Puerto Rican, you're Mexican." They're like, "You're Mexican." I mean, I knew I wasn't, but to look if you look like them, you're Mexican.
I mean, everybody in LA thinks like if you're, especially if you're in San Gabriel, like everybody think you're Chinese. That's it.
Totally, but I love the diversity of New York. In LA, I was in a bubble, so I'm glad I get to experience other cultures and just walk out and hear so many different languages. I love it. I think it's so cool. It's like the rest of the world in a city.
I love that rest of the world in the city. You see everybody, you meet
Yeah,
everybody, and you connect with the heart and just say and that's one thing that I really love about you, and you really see people in the heart. I'm always, like, curious to see who do I meet? Like, who do I meet when Pam's around? Your event or, like, your pop-up, and I always meet cool people around you.
thank you. I'm so sad about 20 the way 2020 has gone because it was going to be very hands-on with events to meet people, grow. So that sort of put a pause on things. So we'll see. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going next.
Mhm. And you're still doing lots of online stuff.
Yeah, with the digital marketing. Oh, and of course on Rawly Bold to do stories and introduce the community to other women in business and to have them share a little bit of what they do with us. I think it's fun. I sort of want to share a little joy though. I'm everything that's going on really affects me. I'm a big empath. I don't know. I still feel like we need joy in the middle of the chaos. So I'm trying to figure out how we can have a little fun while we turn this wheel to change.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Joy is needed if we're always being so serious. I cannot just being serious all the time. I had
Oh
to do
yeah,
some stupid things.
me
And it
too.
just right? Like we need a balance.
Totally.
Okay, so now that we said balance, do you ever find a balance?
No, I don't think there's such thing as balance. You just pick and choose what you want to do first, and then definitely take a break whenever you need to. Or at least for me, I have to eventually stop and take a break and do something fun and reset because I work to have fun. I'm not working for no reason. Yeah, I'm working to support women and to create change and positivity in the world, but I also want to have fun. Finding fun in the middle of everything is important. But
So
there's no such thing as balance. You just do whatever you have to do first, and you really do make time for what you want.
I love that you said you love to have you work to have fun. So speaking of fun, what is the fun fact that most people don't know about you?
I love to dance, and I don't think anybody in Raleigh Bold has ever seen me dance. I will dance 24/7. At a party, I'm on the dance floor, I'm on dancing on a table, I'm dancing like crazy.
Oh my god, when this is all over, like we need to go dancing.
It'll be so much fun. That's actually the first thing I want to do as soon as this is over.
Yeah. Oh, like even if it's not like a over in a traditional sense, we should just go out in the park and everybody should just dance together.
That would be so fun. I honestly listen to everything. My playlists are so extreme from one genre to the other, even country. So,
Really?
a few country songs, yeah.
I love that. Your music is also diverse. I love it.
It is.
Kind of going back to what we were talking about, mentioned earlier, like when you're in LA, you're in bubble. When you're in New York and you started meeting more people, and have you always known that? I would imagine you knew that you connect with a woman more. How did you come to find out this is kind of what you want to do?
It's such an accident because I'm such an introvert and going to networking events, I have to prepare versus just going in blind because if I go into an event blind, chances are I won't talk to anybody because I'm so uncomfortable.
I'm glad that you said that.
Oh my gosh, it really, I'm cringing inside at the thought of going and just like going blind. And also, it's not very productive for me when I go in blind. I like to see who's going to be there, who do I want to talk to. And this may sound selfish, but this is why we go to events. Who's going to help me grow? Who's going to teach me something? What do I want to learn from whoever is there? So I always sort of plan, but I am very introverted. I think this whole mission of Raleigh Bold really inspired me with this community because I started Raleigh Bold in the middle of the whole Me Too movement, and women's discrimination was just all over the news. And then I learned I was significantly underpaid. And after having those conversations, being told no, that I wasn't going to receive the pay that I deserve, I decided to, that's what really inspired me to go forward with Rawly Bold. And I just didn't like that feeling that I had. These other people were essentially in control of my life. And so that inspired me to start a community and a brand that would still inspire us to thrive despite the obstacles that we face daily. And when I first launched, I thought I can launch because this is a great mission. Everyone's going to love it. And I can just hit publish on my website and it'll be okay. I can sit back and just pack orders and nobody needs to know who I am. Yeah, right.
Let's go dive in. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Nothing happened there, obviously. And then my friends started inviting me to events, and I found Lisa of We're Women Owned on Instagram. I immediately joined that, and I learned I have to put myself out there. And this goes back to how bad do you want it? So I've been uncomfortable ever since because I wanted that bad. And I just have to get out there and learn from other women, also share ideas and teach others what I do because, we can all brainstorm and do our own thing and share ideas and feel supported in this entrepreneurial journey. It goes back to feeling that discrimination firsthand and not wanting others to go through the same, to just create a support system, sort of.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how you said about meeting so many other people with me. I think that's very cool, and it makes me like, wow, that's so awesome. You're not the first person that says that, and it's still something that's like, wow, I can do that. And so now everything, since that seems to be something that I'm good at, I try to do that in everything that I do.
You're really good at it. At least on my end, I feel like all you do is keep showing up. And that shows like every event that you're a part of, like not only you, like we are woman owned. That's when the pop up is when I first found out about
Mm,
Bold and started to really get to know you as a person. And now you curate your digital events and as well as you hosting your own pop up with the other female founders. And I'm seeing you grow. I've seen you do things. And like I said earlier, every time I go to your space, I meet so many amazing people. And I suck at playing games, but the other day we had a game night and that was fun.
I'm not a gamer either. It's not my favorite thing to do. And I said at the beginning, I'd rather sit here and have my drink while you guys play. But
Exactly.
obviously, I had to partake. I don't know. I'm competitive, but not in game night because I know it's just a game. It's not like we're playing for money. I
Those would
like
be a whole
hard,
different, yeah, like a whole
but
different conversation. Oh my god, I love it. So, digital marketing, that's your part of new business. Your work isn't a digital marketer and Rolly Bold. Again, I'm always mesmerized by what you do. It just has that powerful messaging. And I did it come from you or did it come from the people who did people ask you to do it?
no, I thought to do it because when I was looking for somebody, I couldn't find anybody at my price point or my at the rate that I was willing, a rate that fit in my budget because I'm such a small business. So everyone that was reaching out to me was like thousands of dollars a month. I'm like, but I'm a small business. All you women working with small businesses was my thought. And if you're a small business, where are you getting the money from? And
Mm,
I don't have an investor and I don't want investors. So I just thought, let me teach myself how to do this. However, did start working with Mimi, who now is my copywriter, and she used to handle my socials. And her focus now is her writing. She wants to be a writer. So I just handed that over, and she taught me a little bit on what to do and what to look for. And then I just started implementing my own ideas or what I thought worked for the brand. I'm like, why can't I just help women, small business owners? I felt like there's a void there because nobody is doing that. So don't start doing it just because I started. And I still feel like it goes hand in hand with Rawly Bold because I'm still supporting them in a way and taking something off their shoulders so they can scale or work on different parts of their business because social media, for example, is so time consuming. Digital marketing is so time consuming. And it's really easy for me to mesh with their brands that it's worked. So yeah, something that I started this year was always a thought when I needed the help, but I finally jumped into it and it's going really well. I have 5 clients right now, so
I love that. That's awesome.
thanks. It's
And
fun.
what is it about it that you like it? I would imagine one of the main thing is, like, being able to help women.
Yep, exactly.
Mhm.
And when they say, I mean, I don't need ego boost, but it's nice to know that I'm making a difference for them and I'm helping them achieve their goal. Like that's one thing that is very important to me. So when I sit down and talk to everybody, I'm like, what is your goal? So we can work together on achieving that.
I love that what is your goal question come up because one of the thing I struggle as a creative person is how do I scale that? How do I measure it? Like what is the benchmark? And I have a hard time always pinpointing what exactly my goal is to hard time articulating that. I think there's a lot of women that you work with. Do they have those as well?
Well, their goal, of course, is always more followers, more conversions, getting more subscriptions to their newsletter, being seen more on Instagram, connecting with new people on Instagram or on other platforms. And because with Raleigh Bold, I've been able to meet so many other women, I can easily connect them to my network. So it's worked. So far they're very happy. I take a load off of their hands and, work on whatever was burdening them. And I feel like it's more of a team effort. And I like to be, this is just another way for me to help women and help their businesses grow.
I love that you said teamwork, and that's what I see from you all the time. You're always working with people. Have you always been that?
Maybe because I grew up playing sports and I've always been in team environments. My family would say, well, and I'll admit to it too, I do have some like bossy qualities. Like I don't like having people tell me what to do and don't tell me that I cannot do something because I will do it if you tell me that I can't.
Well, I'll prove you
Um,
wrong.
exactly. But I grew up playing sports and it was always a collective effort. So I feel like I definitely implement things from the days that I played sports. I definitely implement it in business. I'm competitive in that nature, the way I just visualize everything as if it were a game. What do I need to do to win? Who do I need to pick to be part of my team in order to win? So it's almost like if we're playing a basketball game and I need these 5 people in order for me to get to this goal. I guess playing sports definitely has an impact on the way I do things, but we can't do anything alone. We're always going to need somebody to help us, to guide us, to teach us, to root for us and support us. It's always going to be a team effort. You're your own boss. You're going to need clients. How are you going to grow if you don't have a client or working with others? We're always working with others, even if you're working with animals. You still didn't do it alone.
That is so true. It is so important that we as a female founders realize that. I struggled in the beginning, like I don't want to bother people. I don't want to like put too much on other people. Like I felt like I had to do everything by myself. I'm pretty sure like people, your clients and the people in your community are very, very grateful that you are modeling that and constantly telling people you don't have to do it alone. So thank you for always being you.
Yeah, you don't. And there's others who, if we don't say anything, they'll be thrilled to work with you. If you don't say anything, perhaps they feel intimidated or perhaps they don't know how to go about reaching out to you or contacting you. That's something that I've actually done this year. I just started cold emailing people just because I want to connect. And it just leads into something else, just authentically. Because since I can't go to networking events and meet you, I'm going to have to write you, just be honest, admire you. I want to connect, work with you. It definitely takes more effort now because
Mhm.
it's not like organic as it would be at a networking event, but we need people.
Absolutely. I think if anything, we get to be more intentional about what we're putting in.
Totally. That definitely helps.
Mhm. It goes back to earlier when you're saying about I can't just go in blind. I'll just be quiet. So now everything needs to be intentional. Who am I reaching out to, and what research am I doing? And like, who do
Hmm.
I want to help? That's such a powerful thing that we get to realize during this time.
Yeah, we're so much more in control than we think. Everything on social media is like, oh, it's the end of the world. I hate this. And granted, yes, this is an awful, awful thing that we're experiencing. But you could either choose to sit in the awful part of it and sit in it until it's over. And the sad part is we don't know when it's over, or if we're going to actually use it to our benefit. Learn something new, or reach out to that person that you've been wanting to reach out to. If you get uncomfortable, you don't have to see them in the face. You don't have to see them around. You don't have to see them at the office. You could just put the computer down and never have to see them again, essentially. I feel like it's easier in that sense.
You're actually right about that. Because if you're in the physical space and like I don't want to talk to this person anymore. But if you're in the same event and the event keeps going, you're still gonna have to see those people.
Hmm.
I always appreciate you. So this is a completely selfish thing for me to say because I always appreciate how grounded you are, or at least that's my experience has been. And every time I share that, you're like, but sometimes I'm not, and I don't experience this as such. How do you ground yourself?
I still work out the way I used to playing sports. I love very, very, very high intensity workouts. I have sometimes with all the energy or anger, I literally want to feel like I'm getting it out of me. So I'll do like Barry's boot camp type workouts.
Ooh.
I'm like a red in the face, about to throw up. I just like that stuff. It makes me feel good. And then I'm getting stronger. I just like to feel that I'm literally getting that energy. I also like to run. So these days has been a lot of at home berries boot camp, a lot of running. I have meditated and done breath work and journaled, and they've all made me feel good collectively.
Mm.
I also get bored very fast, so I have to change things up. Like I couldn't journal all these 3 months or meditate and do something. So I also have to switch things up. I've tried Pilates classes, which is good. I'm very into physical activity, obviously, being outdoors, going for a walk, but mostly the high intensity workouts does it for me.
I love it. Your is such a fire, but not the fire that just goes out crazy. I learned this description about like a blue fire that's within the red fire, so much more high heat, but also so strong and subtle. And I feel like you're that person.
Oh, well, thank you.
Mhm. I love, and appreciate what you do and like and everything. And you are such an inspiration to me.
Thank you so much. Likewise.
Thanks. So, before I have one more question that I want to ask you, but before that, like, can you share for people who are learning about you for the first time? Can you share how people can find and learn about what you do and join the community?
Yeah, you can follow Rawly Bold on Instagram. It's RAWLYBOLD, like you're raw and bold. Facebook, it's Shop Rawly Bold. My personal Instagram, if you want to connect with me personally, it's at Hey Pam D as in David. I don't tweet. Rawly Bold is on Twitter. It's Rawly Bold. Yeah, you can email Rawly Bold. It's rawlybold at Gmail. Feel free to reach out. Clearly, I love connecting with people. And it doesn't make me uncomfortable. It actually excites me that people actually reach out. personally and off the radar versus at an event. So I've had a few of those during quarantine,
Oh my god, I
and
love that.
it's so nice. Yeah, it's so nice. It really feels like genuine and authentic. So I
Oh my
highly recommend people do that.
yeah, like it's so amazing. Like if people took their time to write or call or connect with people, that means a lot.
Hmm. Totally. Like you, and time is something that we can't take back. So if you really take the time to connect with somebody intentionally, like I think it's very instrumental for both you and whoever reached out to you. You never know where that connection can lead, and there's so much intention behind it and effort. I love it.
I love it too. Yay. So one last question that I have for you. This is my one of my favorite questions to ask people. What is your call to action for the world right now?
Ooh, I have a lot. To vote, you have to vote. If you say that your vote doesn't count, I mean, does that mean you haven't voted before? I'm unsure how people come to that thinking or realization, but we have to vote. If you're tired of the way things are in the world, the hate and negativity, it all starts with the people that are in power, and it's up to us to put the good people in positions of power to create the change that we need to see. And it's so important. You guys have to vote. Register to vote. Voting is cool and it never goes out of style.
I love that. All right, so for those of you who are listening, please go register and vote. It is very important. And I am so grateful that you are here spending time with me, Pam, and really being who you are and supporting women and people and selfishly me. Like honestly, I'm so grateful for you. So thank
Thank you. No, I'm so grateful for you. Every time I turn something on, you're working on something else. I'm like, okay, wait, what? I need to catch up.
you. I know we need to be like at least I need to be doing a better job like
I
catching up
love
with you.
that. No, me too. So we'll catch up.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.